This is the team, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Could I now ask all the senior revenue officers to stand up and wave to His Excellency? The senior revenue officers who are in charge of the sub-counties. Can you wave to His Excellency? The Excellencies are the people whom we have charged the responsibility of ensuring that we achieve, and they are doing all their best to ensure. With that, Your Excellency, I also want to acknowledge and recognize major partners and players in this revenue collection that we undertake in the county. There are people from extra ensuring that you achieve on this, and today we kindly requested them and they've honored your request to join us today so that they can hear on the need of us mobilizing this resource effectively. Number one, we have the KCB Bank, which is the largest and leading financial institution in the county, and who are also very much for honoring our invite to be here with His Excellency Governor. Because of the time, Your Excellency, I'll just invite two of them. I want NHIF to make a commitment to continue supporting us in this process, and also KCB to maintain vigilance over our resources in their bank. So I would like KCB just to acknowledge His Excellency and make a few remarks.
Your Excellency, Honorable Fernandez Barasa, CECs present, Chief Officers present, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Judy Nekoe, the branch manager of KCB Kakamega, and equally the branch manager of KCB County. We have the county managers and the branch manager at the same time. Therefore, I wear two caps as the branch manager and the county manager. This morning, Your Excellency, I'm very proud to be here. Proud because at my entrance in Kakamega in 2020, we had a lot of issues in terms of fake statements, fake slips coming into the bank. And I want to say that this journey that is as culminated in automation of the systems is going to eliminate that. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that from where I sit, we cannot discuss revenue without the banks. I hope I'm right on that. Because we are the goalkeeper, is it? And being the goalkeeper, I want to assure Your Excellency this morning that I'm going to play the goalkeeping role. That we have a bulletproof system which cannot be pilfered at all. There is no way you can enter into our systems. And even for us to accept to automate the systems, we had to seek very high approvals to enable the county government to view online what is happening in the bank. That means that if this morning I'm depositing 10 shillings, automatically the county are able to see what is happening in the bank on the account of revenue. And on that, what do I mean? I know our governor has worked in the private sector. Revenue leakage is what we take very seriously, very, very seriously. Because as a matter of fact, him as the county governor, the county chief, will not allow to preside over a shrinking kingdom in terms of revenue. And therefore, I promise this morning that I'm going to play a very integral role in ensuring that month on month, year on year, we are surpassing our targets. And my prayer is to CRA Musindalo, when you come up with the targets, let us not make them so low. So that we also sweat at our end, coming in by ensuring that we are engaging and we are looking for all mechanisms to ensure all the revenue is collected. And when Kakamega will be at the top, definitely, I'll be at the top as the branch manager. And I'll be recognized in KCB that we have also played a role in ensuring that we recover all the revenues. I've heard from the very powerful presentation from the lady who was presented. That was nice, isn't it? Very, very powerful. And I want just to add something on that. That Your Excellency, as she has rightly put, when you confirm them, on PNP, it means they equally come in for loans, they'll develop themselves, and that will motivate them. Your Excellency, I want to support that. I'm not, and I know what it means. When you are motivated, it means then you'll give your best to the county. I'm not saying that you're not giving your best. You are, but we want to raise the bar higher, right? So that, I'm sure, two ladies, powerful ladies speaking, that has gone into the ears of the king and is going to deliver. My people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, CECs, Chief of Staffs, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Splenda Yonge Isiki. I am a Quality Assurance Officer with NHIF. I'm based in Mumias branch. I came along with my colleague from Kakamega branch. You can stand and wave. Mr. Atanda is the accountant. So we are representing our branch managers who are unable to make it because of duty. And we were requested to make a few remarks on NHIF potential in terms of revenue collection. First and foremost, we are at the forefront of supporting county governments and Wananchi when it comes to revenue. How do you collect this revenue? It's through capitation payments and processing of claims. When you look at universal health coverage, county facilities were given the first priority and recognized so that beneficiaries would access services from GOK facilities. So we are at the forefront of partnering with county governments in order that our members can access services. Thank you for partnering with us as well. Something that will lure customers to GOK facilities at the forefront is quality of services. And I've seen one of the pillars of your able government is proper healthcare services. So for us to ensure that, apart from the healthcare financing, where NHIF comes in, we are also appealing to able government to ensure that our beneficiaries get good customer experience when they walk into GOK facilities and they're able to access drugs when they walk into GOK facilities. And on the issue of arrears, we are very much available to do reconciliation. Mr. Atanda is an expert in that, and our accountant even in Mumias. So we will work with the CEO, Mr. Egri, to do proper reconciliation and ensure at the end of this financial year, most of the arrears have been cleared and you are supported in terms of the revenue. Because I've seen our target is at 5 billion, right? Yeah, so we are at the forefront of supporting you on that. We are kindly requesting your able office, Your Excellency, to support the level 2s and 3s GOK with ICT requirements. NHIF migrated from manual processing of claims to the e-claim platform. However, the level 2s and 3s were left out because most of them do not have the proper ICT requirements. We believe you're able to support them, and we would also like to see them migrate over. You'll find hospitals all the way from Likuyani, Lumakanda, bringing claims to Kakamega. This is part of revenue collection, right? But look at the turnaround time that they have to go through.
Your Excellency, the Governor, FCPA Fernandez Barasa, the County Assembly Finance Committee represented by MCA Musundi, all the CECs present, all the CEOs present, sub-county administrators, enforcement team, the KCRA staff present, invited guests, all protocols observed. Today we bring together the KCRA staff members to this meeting, acknowledging the important role they play in the county. We want to make the green jewel shine. I acknowledge the difficult situations that you work in. As a tax collector, the work is not easy, but you're up to the task. Revenue governance, simply put, is the ability of end-to-end revenue process. It's about ensuring every step in the revenue process and every decision made to backed by accurate data, optimize and minimize friction with maximum collection of revenue. Your Excellency, my recent visit to various centers concluded the following. There is need for fast tracking of improvement of administrative capacity to access and increase revenue base. There is need for improvement made in capacity of enforcing tax payment. There is explicit and intentional tax evasion resistance by taxpayers due to lack of proper services. There is inadequate staffing and in terms of revenue streams and geographical area that we need to ensure that we fill in the gap. There's infiltration by neighboring counties in our Kakamega County jurisdiction by collecting our revenue. There is also a bit of external pressure by local leaders at times when our revenue collectors are doing their able work. However, Your Excellency, even within KCRA, as a new board, as we come in, we know we have a lot to do to ensure that all is well in terms of governance, in terms of staffing, and the staff rationale that we need to have within the county. We also need to make sure that we have quality reports as has been displayed within the system. Your Excellency, I won't tell you much, but however, it's the role of the KCRA to assess, collect, and account for all revenues in accordance to the written laws and specified provisions of the written law, to advise on matters relating to administration of and collection of revenue under the written laws and specified provision of the laws. However, there are four major variables that constantly influence the management and collection. There is price, inventory, marketing, and channels. Let's think at each factor as a wedge of a pie that constantly change barriers based on our neighboring counties' play. Your Excellency, the agency faced challenges in terms of inadequate operational logistical support, lack of accurate data, poor tracking of economic activities, and inadequate education on the part of the taxpayer. Revenue collection can actually be increased, and you can see the way we are applying to increase by indexing property and values. Zonal approach, e-billing delivery, enhanced e-payment, e-receipts, and improved enforcement. It's my humble request on the following things, Your Excellency. We need to broaden our tax base, improve our tax compliance, improve perception of the tax system, strengthen the institutional capacity in terms of revenue mobilization, improve non-tax collection services, such as cleaning our markets and our shopping and our municipalities. Your Excellency, I want to thank you very much. For now, the agency has a full board. As a full board, we are going to form into committees that will oversee and control the agency administrative issues, land records and rent settlement, revenue collection to the county. This will do in collaboration with the various ministries concerned, guiding principles, standards, and regulations. In order to achieve the above, we'll definitely request the board and members of staff to observe duty of care, duty of loyalty, and duty of obedience. To my good KCRA staff, I have this humble request to you. Understand and demonstrate a commitment to the agency mission and programs. Keep up to date with issues and trends that affect the agency. Have integrity, be honest, be disciplined, be steadfast, and continue with your good work. As the chair of the agency, I'll be leading the board on focusing strategic matters, overseeing the agency buildings, and setting up governance standards. I will play a vital role in fostering effectiveness of the board, individual members, both inside and outside the boardroom, together with the staff. Your Excellency, great boards lead organizations to greater prosperity. It's my duty to ensure that the new board delegates effectively, have honest conversations, and are committed to the organization and can inspire and be creative and innovative, particularly in terms of increasing streams of revenue collection. Your Excellency, the following shall be key issues of performance indicators to the board. Keep people informed, keep people involved, keep people interested, and keep people inspired. As an agency, let's believe, behave, and become. Let's believe that we can grow our own revenue source beyond 6 billion. Let's behave by providing services to our people, and let's become by developing our county in terms of economical and infrastructural through on-source revenue. The board shall endeavor to keep high integrity by ensuring honesty, discipline, and hardworking staff are retained as we plan to transition from contracts. I urge various ministries assisting the KCRA to ensure there's better coordination of what they are doing with the agency for maximum and proper utilization of the time. It's my sincere request, Your Excellency, that what the staff has requested, that we transit from contracts to PP. It's also my sincere request, Your Excellency, that you mentioned about making the agency autonomous. I kindly request you that through this board and through your direction, you may make it possible. Thank you very much, and thank you very much indeed.
Asante sana. Please clap for Chair. Asante sana, Chair. Asante sana, Bwana Mdambo. Na, Mheshimiwa, you are the host, and we are informed. Municipality ya Kakamega inaleta mzuri. Just take 2 minutes on behalf of the chair of the committee on finance, and then tusonge kwa haraka. Just take some few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Director Communications, Kakamega County, Mr. Sumba. Your Excellency, our Governor, Fernandez Barasa, Ministers who are here and Chief Officers, our admins, revenue collecting team who are here, good afternoon. Good afternoon once more. Chakula iko hapo mtakula bwana. Good afternoon. I'm Honorable Moses Msundi, MCA representing Shea Ward in town here. You can also call me mayor of the town. I'm the only surviving mayor in the whole country. I want to take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to welcome you and your team, your entire staff, to this meeting. Feel free, and after the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, feel free also to mingle so that you may know one another. Is it so? Your Excellency, I'm standing here on behalf of Chair, Kakamega County Assembly, Finance Committee, Honorable Sanga, who is in Nakuru on official duty with the entire Finance Committee. Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for what you are doing in our county. For few months you have been in office, Mheshimiwa, tumeona kazi yako. I want to take this opportunity to say that if you go around our roads within our 60 wards, there is something going on there. Our hospitals, you equipped them with medicine, our people are getting the right services. And also, Your Excellency, taking care of a ward that is densely populated. I want to thank you for adding us 2 more million on bursary allocation from 2 million to 4 million. Thank you so much for taking into consideration that our children should go to school and learn. It is only through education that a son of a peasant and a rich person can dine on the same table. I want to take this opportunity, Your Excellency, as County Assembly of Kakamega, the Finance Committee. We are committed to support any program, any law that will be brought before us to enhance collection of revenues within our county. We shall also make sure as local leaders that any law that is to be brought in place on matters revenue collection, all stakeholders are being involved. I want to thank the committee, the chair, Kakamega County Revenue Agency, the CEO for organizing this meeting, because I can see all stakeholders have been brought or invited in this meeting, which is very okay. We want to make sure that the Mamambogas, the Boda people, and all people within our county are involved in making sure that we come up with laws that will enhance collection of revenue and make sure that we don't have leakages, that people pay revenues and those money end up in pockets of a few individuals. We are not saying all of them, a few individuals. Nyinyi ni watu wazuri, mnafanya kazi mzuri. Nataka niwashukuru watu wetu wa revenue. Sisi kama waheshimiwa tutawaunga mkono. Na mimi nataka niwaambie ile maneno mnaambia huyu muungwana, ni mtu muungwana sana. Kuhusu mambo ingine na ingine na ingine. Amesikia na mimi najua atafanya jambo. With those few remarks, Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to return the mic back to Mr. Sumba so that he may continue with this program. And lastly, representative from Safaricom, I'll be knocking at your door because you reside in my area. The corporate social responsibility, we want to share with you something small so that you can assist my people. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Thank you. Pigia mheshimiwa makofi. Thank you. Thank you, mheshimiwa. And Your Excellency, sir, allow me now to request Waziri Finance and Economic Planning, CPA Livingston Yugai. Since most has been spoken, mheshimiwa, kindly just introduce to the governor and to the members here the executive, then invite the governor to address us. Asante.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Kakamega County, FCPA Fernandez Barasa, OGW Chair, Finance Planning Committee of the Council of Governors, Honorable Musundi, MCA for Shea Ward, representing the Chair Finance Committee, County Assembly of Kakamega, the CCMs present, Chief Officers present, our sub-county administrators, invited guests and staff, good afternoon. Yeah, thank you very much this morning, Your Excellency, sir. I have been guided well. I had my comments that I wanted to make, but the speakers who came before me, a number of them have spoken quite into it. And in the best interest of time, Your Excellency, I will not go into much other than to invite, to introduce to you the CECMs present before us today. We have the CC in charge of Gender Youth Sports, Mr. Moffat Mandela. Just wave to the team. We have with us the CECM in charge of Public Service and Administration, Mr. Lawrence Omuhaka. We have with us the CECM in charge of Roads, Mr. Patrick Kondo. With us, we also have the CECM in charge of agriculture, Mr. Andama Benjamin. Then with us, we have the CECM in charge of education, Mr. Godfrey Owori. Then finally with us, we have the CECM in charge of lands, Mrs. Penina Mukabane. Also, His Excellency, sir, you will allow me to introduce to the team the advisors that we have in our midst. We have the political advisor, Mr. Hasabuli. We have the gender advisor, Madam Christine. We have the youth advisor, Emmanuel. Then finally, I have with us chief officers, representatives from various departments. We have Chief Officer for Service Delivery, Dr. Masakwe. We have with us Chief Officer in charge of Education, Madam Leah. We have Chief Officer in charge of Roads, Engineer Otenyo. We have Chief Officer in charge of Public Works, Mr. Were Pascal. We have Chief Officer in charge of E-Government, Mr. Lotilo Joseph. We have Chief Officer in charge of Public Administration, Doreen Amoga. We have Chief Officer in charge of Lands, Mrs. Kitira Faith. We have Chief Officer in charge of ICT, Mr. Fanuel Musasia. We have Chief Officer in charge of Environment, Climate Change, Mr. Mutobera. We have Chief Officer in charge of Economic Planning, CPA David Musafiri. And we have Chief Officer with us in charge of Urban Development, Mr. Patrick Butichi. Then we have Chief Officer in charge of Agriculture, CPA Bill Silinki. Thank you, Your Excellency. Those are the top government officials that are here with us. The others sought apology since they are engaged elsewhere. Your Excellency, in the best interest of time, I will not go into much, only to tomorrow, Your Excellency, just to remind the team that tomorrow you will be launching the CIDP 2023-2027 for the county government of Kakamega at the Pohongo International Stadium. And we have made a request to the CCMs to invite a few selected staff from your departments, and we welcome you tomorrow at the Pohongo International Stadium for the launch of the CIDP. With those few remarks, allow His Excellency to make his remarks as we proceed. May we stand? Karibu, Your Excellency.
Let's be seated. The chair of our finance committee is represented here today by our MCA for Share Awards, ambaye Mheshimiwa mchapakazi Moses Msundi. CEC's present, our chief officers, the chair of the KCRA, Daktari Martin Mgambo, the CEO, all the partners present here today, our sub-county administrators and all the officers, all the revenue officers here today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the chair, the CEO, for this occasion today. We are gathered here to witness the issuance of uniforms, computers, and furniture to our revenue officers. At the same time, we are here to reflect on our roles as Kakamega County Office Revenue Agency. I know most of the speakers have spoken to a number of issues, but from the onset, I would like to acknowledge the roles played by our partners in the county's efforts to collect revenue. Allow me to single out KCB. Thank you, the branch manager, Judy Nekoe, for your commitment to support new collection activities. NHIF, I want to appreciate you. You also brought out quite a number of issues which I know our teams are going to ensure that we work on them, and more importantly on the issue of automating and providing facilities to our level 2s and level 3 hospitals to enhance the collections. The National Police Service, we appreciate you, especially on the enforcement, and of course the request which our revenue officers have put forward, ably done by the senior revenue officer, Jennifer Kutoi. Congratulations for that very convincing presentation. And also Clara Faith, you have also done very well in the municipality of Kakamega. Allow me also to appreciate the presence of Safaricom. I know you play a very critical role on digitization and also making sure that the automation process is complete. Shock and Millers in Kakamega County, we appreciate you, especially on the cess, that is one of the key revenue streams. One Acre Fund, KCRA, Kakamega Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Border Association, in watu wa nguvu sana, led by the chair, my good friends. Karibu sana, I really appreciate you. Western Cross Shuttle, you are also one of our key reliable partners in as far as on-source revenue is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, all the grand plans that Kakamega County or all the county governments have drafted operate on the assumption that there will be enough revenue to facilitate their implementation. For us to build schools, roads, and provide all the services that we need for survival, we need revenue. This forum, therefore, is not about how the county governments of Kakamega will raise revenues. Rather, it's about how all of us will synergize in order to enhance collection of on-source revenue to develop our county for the benefit of all of us. And of course, as the chair of Finance Committee and Economic Affairs of COG, I'm cognizant of the fact that the equitable share is becoming a bit challenging. Yesterday, those who watched me on KTN, we still have arrears of almost 94.3 billion Kenya shillings. We haven't received money for the month of March, around 29.6 billion Kenya shillings. We haven't received revenues, or rather disbursements, for the month of April, amounting to almost 33.3 billion Kenya shillings. And of course, the revenues and disbursements for the month of May, again amounting to 31.45 billion Kenya shillings, are due. The PFM Act is very clear in Section 17 and Section 76 that all the revenues and disbursements must be done by the 15th of the month. But of course, you can clearly see that we have arrears, and that's why our fallback position, becomes also revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, for devolution to family and truly stand, we must pay taxes. And as a government, we put friendly strategies in place to collect taxes and convert them into goods services for the same taxpayers. What is critical for the government to operate in fairness in setting the criteria and rest of taxation, to use civil ways of collecting taxes, and to put the collected taxes to proper use. Dear partners here present, in the last financial year, 2021-2022, all the 47 counties jointly collected 35.9 billion Kenya shillings against a target of 60.4 billion Kenya shillings, and this represents 59.4% in terms of performance. Kakamega County collected 1.2 billion Kenya shillings against a target of 1.8 billion Kenya shillings. This year, because we are very pragmatic, we have a target of 2 billion Kenya shillings. I know we have a potential of collecting 5.8 billion Kenya shillings against the aggregate potential of almost 300 billion, which, according to CRA, all the 47 counties can be able to collect. I want to challenge you as my revenue officers that if you give me 2 billion Kenya shillings in this calendar year, then the request put forth by Jennifer Kutoi of you being considered for P&P, I'll not even think about it. It will be granted to you. So I've given you a target, surpass the target of 2 billion, then you'll be considered to be employed on P&P. So it's about stretching ourselves so that at least you have something to celebrate about. When we'll be celebrating achieving 2 billion shillings, on that occasion you'll also be receiving your letters of P&P. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the performance that I've just talked about compared to last year, this may look an exaggerated target. But looking at the way we collect revenue, it appears like either our policies are not properly enforced or they deliberately created gaps that allow so many people to evade paying taxes. It is also possible that we lack strategies to effectively and efficiently collect the taxes. And I want to single out the fact that our revenue officers have requested for security. We have approved in cabinet the recruitment of county marshals who will be attached to the revenue officers as a dedicated team for purposes of enforcement. I know that process is going to commence almost immediately so that our municipalities and all the other revenue targets, we have a dedicated team of the county marshals. This time around, not calling them enforcement officers, they have a special name, county marshals, that will support the revenue collection. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with respect to the suspected gaps in tax collection that the county government of Kakamega formed the Kakamega County Revenue Agency, a county corporation enacted by an act of the Kakamega County Assembly. This agency has the mandate and responsibility to collect and account for the on-source revenue. Today, ladies and gentlemen, my government seeks to empower KCRA officers to effectively and efficiently discharge their mandates by giving them working tools, which include uniforms, computers, and furniture. A request has been put forth again on the issue of bundles, and this one I direct the CEO. Now that we are going into automation, bundles to the senior revenue officers should be the tools of work and not a luxury. So I want you to look at the requests favorably so that we give them at least a monthly allocation of airtime to facilitate revenue collection, so that at the end of the financial year, we can now ask for results, because you can't ask for results when you have not facilitated the officers. The new uniforms will enhance staff visibility. The computers will increase the technological efficiency in documentation and data processing and storage, while the furniture will also provide safe and secure storage of documents in the offices. Last month, we had a meeting with our revenue officers. I saw some of the offices we have, and I was particularly moved by the office in Navajo. That office looked like a store, it looked like a garage, and I'm hoping that going forward, the fact that we're looking at the infrastructure, we are making sure that all the revenue offices at least provide a friendly working environment. My government commits to further enhance both the welfare and the working conditions of revenue compliance officers. Like all the responsible county officers, I expect all KCRA staff to take care of these assets. I also want to acknowledge the request from the chair of KCRA in terms of autonomy. I've already given instructions across the board that all our agencies must strive to be autonomous. We want to have governance being practiced at the highest level. You need to have all the structures. You need to look at how efficient will your agencies operate by making sure that all the departments which are required to run those organizations are in place. And that is why I've taken the initiative to ensure that we have boards who will set the tone from the top, who will make sure that all those strategic plans are properly aligned to our manifesto, so that we can ensure that the services are efficiently delivered. So, Bwana Chair, I've given you a challenge, present to us your strategy to transform KCRA. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also glad to announce that the KCRA Board of Management is now fully constituted, and of course will start operations once they have gone through proper induction. I implore the board members to be guided by my manifesto for the people of Kakamega County, Mwongozo Code of Governance, and the vision and mission of the agency. As your governor, I salute the diligent county revenue officers who have daily and consistently taken up the patriotic duty of mobilizing these resources. Here I refer to the drivers, the clerks, revenue officers, senior revenue staff, and their support system at KCRA and county headquarters. I also applaud you for the sense of teamwork that we have so far exhibited. To you, my esteemed revenue staff, I also want you to acknowledge the efforts some of you are making for the professional developments. And in this regard, I salute the revenue officers who have trained and qualified in the International Tax Administration Diagnostic Assessment Tools exams. may you be exemplary ambassadors of Kakamega County if and when you are called upon to assess other jurisdictions, both within and out of Kenya. Congratulations to all those who went through the training. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank the United Nations Capital Development Fund, International Monetary Fund, for their collaboration with my government in enabling the training of this staff and the targeted assessment of KCRA. 5 KCRA headquarters staff, 10 senior revenue officers, and 6 revenue officers will today receive their targeted certificates. Another 4 revenue officers have been trained and certified by KRA's Kenya School of Revenue Administration on revenue mapping. This is not a mean task, and congratulations once again to all of you. This clearly shows my government's commitments, our revenue staff with requisite skills to enhance their professionalism. I now urge that the clerks who have been identified and whom we applaud as both disciplined and top performers be considered once again for capacity building as a continuous professional development and a recognition of their noble and civic efforts to build our county. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware of the staff shortage at KCRA. However, for now, we have to leverage on voluntary compliance and technology to reduce reliance on direct physical human interventions in revenue mobilization. For this to work efficiently, however, data analysis ought to be a key driver. Meanwhile, the Department of Public Service has been directed to carry out a staff rationalization and deploy in-service staff who have key skills, ethics, and competencies such as data analysis, and all the other officers